and we want to welcome you to our first of many Affordable Housing Initiative forums that we're starting here in the great city of Opa-locka. So we thank you and we welcome you and thank you for coming. This initiative is important to Opa-locka. We all know that the housing crisis that is going on, that is plaguing not only our city, but our state and our county. And we know our mayor, Daniela Levine Carver, has been working diligently to address that issue. And Opa-locka is simply doing our part in ensuring that our residents, one, are protected, one, are aware, and one, get the resources that they need in order to overcome this housing crisis. So in this initiative, we started here in Opa-locka, and through this initiative, we birthed other initiatives. For example, that's coming up soon, which is our mortgage relief program that we just launched, and our renters relief program that we just launched here in the great city of Opa-locka alongside with our CRA. So again, we thank you and we welcome you and we say, welcome to the great city of Opa-locka, and we cannot wait for you all to help us with this housing crisis. Thank you again.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Gerald Lee, and I'm with the City of Opa-locka. I'm in the Community Development Department. I'm the zoning official. We want to begin with prayer because we want to include God in the things that we do, because as they talk about in the Bible, when you talk about the story of the Tower of Babel, they were able to do extraordinary things until they got confused and stopped working together. And so we believe that with prayer, we can work out differences and remain cognizant and in agreement and get the job done. So let us pray right now. Father, in Jesus' name, Lord, we thank you for your goodness and your mercy. And God, we recognize your greatness and your importance in our lives. And we ask, God, that as we've come this day to do this work for the city of Opa-locka, that you would bless us, that you give us strength and courage to deal with differences and oppositions and opinions and attitudes, and allow us to go beyond that and still work together and get the job done. Keep us focused. And God, as we disseminate information to the people that are here, the developers, the potential change artists of the city, we ask you to help us work together, that no word that is spoken that is causing harm will be a cause for breach. Bless us in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Here now, we're going to introduce our city manager, Mr. Darvin Williams. He's the interim city manager here at the great city of Opa-locka, to introduce and further talk about our affordable housing initiative. Our city manager.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Darvin Williams. I'm the interim city manager for this great city of Opa-locka, and I'm very, very, very excited to have you all here and to discuss this new initiative. This will be the first affordable housing initiative for the city of Opa-locka, and we are answering the call. We are answering the call for our residents who are facing displacement out of their homes, both rented and purchased, and we're answering the call of our county. As many of you may be aware, we have a county initiative to address workforce housing and affordable housing here in the county. And we hope that this plan and this program will set a standard, and be a blueprint for other cities moving forward to address the needs of affordable housing for their residents in the entire county. So our program, this actual initiative is into 3 phases. This workshop is phase 1. Phase 1, we have identified 4 properties that are city-owned properties that are ready to go. We're looking to do mixed use. We're looking to do workforce housing, affordable housing, senior housing on these properties to address the needs of our residents. We're really, really excited to be discussing what's going on here in the city of Opa-locka. We're really, really excited to present these properties to you, and we're ready to partner with you. Opa-locka is open for business, and we're super excited that someone in this room will be working with us to move the development of these properties forward. To assist, we will have all of our resources from the city of Opa-locka, both financial and otherwise. And we're also partnering with our community redevelopment agency to also provide financial assistance and other resources. So we are going to come to the table with developers and our community to get this done. So we're excited that you're here for this phase one. We hope that you continue with us moving forward. Phase two, we'll be looking at private owned properties that are in need of assistance and partnering with them, perhaps doing a public-private partnership with the city or doing an agreement to move development forward on a private basis. We'll be presenting that in the next 30 days. And finally, for phase three, we will actually have those city-owned properties that are suitable for single-family housing. So those will be some smaller developments and some opportunities there. With the 4 properties that we are presenting today, we expect somewhere between 4 to 500 units are available for development, and we look forward to presenting that to you later this afternoon. Again, we are super excited to move this initiative forward. We'll have an opportunity for you to engage with our entire community development staff as well as myself, and see what you bring to the table, see what your ideas are, have a discussion about these opportunities and move this project forward. So thank you again for coming, and I'm super excited that you're here.
And again, that is our city manager. Before we move forward, we want to pause to give honor to our mayor, who's not here today, the other members of the council. That's Mayor Veronica Williams, Commissioner Dr. Charlene Bass, Commissioners Audrey Dominguez, and Commissioners Chris Davis. Now to get an overview of Opa-locka, we're going to bring forth our Planning and Community Director, Mr. Gregory Gay.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. And as the Vice Mayor likes to say all the time, good morning, everyone. It's a great day in the city of Opa-locka, and we welcome you here. My name is Gregory Gay. I'm the Director of Planning and Community Development for the city of Opa-locka. And I've been here for approximately 8 years now. And I can definitely say that within my tour of duty here, things have gotten better within the city. But there's greater things that need to be done. So as we talk about these particular properties and looking at opportunities for public-private partnerships, one of the things that we would like to express is the need for housing from a general perspective. Now, I know when you hear the word affordable, there are some that raise the question, affordable for who? Because that's always a concern. Affordable for who? And as the city manager and all of our administration has basically said, we'd like to basically move forward and present a variety of affordability packages and opportunities for you to participate on. We want to start with workforce housing. That seems to be a major initiative countywide. But we also realize that there's a need for elderly housing. There's a need for veterans housing, and this is a strong veterans community. There's a need for home ownership, which is something that there needs to be a major push for that particular type of industry. And of course, we have the rental market, which right now, if you're hearing articles and the news reports and everything, the rental market is absolutely going bonkers. But we'd like to be in a position where we can have something that's marketable for just about everyone. When I came here, one of the things I wanted to do is to grow the city. And we look at growing the city from 2 perspectives, growing the city in terms of the population and in terms of land mass. We actually have two applications that have been in play for quite some time to look at opportunities for expanding the city size through annexation. And hopefully we will be moving forward with that. But in the meantime, between time, the area that we do control, we need to grow it vertically. A few years ago, we introduced a new zoning code, and within the zoning code, it expressed areas and opportunities, especially along our commercial corridors, to do mixed use. We see that this is something that's occurring in numerous communities throughout Miami-Dade County. And that's definitely a train that we did not want to miss. So we're looking at those particular opportunities and those particular type of projects potentially being put forth. So that's one of the main things that we're looking at, especially when we talk about multifamily housing, and that's one of the areas that we're starting at. We do want to look at it not just from a residential perspective, but probably from a mixed use perspective as well, especially if it's on a commercial corridor. So think about those particular opportunities as it relates to redevelopment opportunities in the city. Mr. Delane is going to come up a little later, just after me, and talk about the Community Redevelopment Agency. And there's a wealth of things and a wealth of opportunities that are associated with the CRA. And right now, only 18% of the city is within the CRA. But we're looking at opportunities to possibly expand the boundaries. Definitely looking at opportunities to extend the timeline. And we're going to be looking at updating the master plan overall to include those particular projects that may not be within the CRA area at this time. So that's just to give you an overall perspective of the direction that we're looking to go in. I'll be here and available for any questions and concerns that you may have. And I look forward to this being one of many initiatives to bring developers and the city together. Thank you.
Well, Mr. Gay had already introduced the next speaker. But to give us the revitalization plan for the city of Opa-locka, and as our manager told us that Opa-locka is open for business, we're going to bring up our CRA director, Mr. Corian Delaney.
Good morning, everyone. Corian Delane, interim CRA manager for the Opa-locka CRA. It is a joy to have each and every last one of you here today to join us in our opportunity to redevelop this city. Opa-locka is a city that was created by a dream by our city's founder, Glenn Curtis. And within doing so, he wanted to create a place that was an oasis in South Florida, even though South Florida is an oasis by itself. But he wanted to create this kind of community that's inclusive to all individuals that come to this city. What we're here to do today is to create an opportunity for our residents who are going through challenges with the economic crisis, the housing crisis that we're having right now, to afford opportunities for these residents to have a place where they can live comfortably within their means. Right now, what we're doing with the CRA is providing opportunities to provide incentives for development, working directly with developers on some city-owned lots, working in tandem with the city. One of our greatest assets is the tax revenue that we do receive through our TIF funding, to apply that back into any development project within our CRA area. As Mr. Gay just mentioned, the CRA is 18% of the city. The city is 4.4 square miles. And, we're looking to expand. However, within this time period, we're looking to engage with the development community to create more affordable housing opportunities. Within that 18% of the city, our CRA does encompass the downtown, Magnolia North, Magnolia Gardens, and the industrial area immediately to the downtown area, which we have just announced it as our new Opa-locka Innovation District. These communities are unique in their own individual way. However, there are opportunities to provide housing stock for these particular areas. And we're excited that you all are here today, and we're looking forward to work with you hand in hand to bring the type of development that this community needs to see moving forward. Once again, thank you. And I'm excited and I'm looking forward to working with each and every last one of you. Thank you.
Okay, so at this point, we're going to actually start the discussion and the conversation on the plan for this initiative. And we have our panel here that has their marching orders that will give you all the plan and allow you all to ask questions so you can know what's your part in this initiative. So again, we're going to bring back up our planning director, Mr. Gregory Gay, to initiate this portion of the program.
So you want to go ahead and do your presentation on your own? Okay.
I don't know if many of you have had an opportunity since you have come into the room to take a look at the boards that we have presented next to the dais. There are 4 areas that we're focused on right now. 2 of them are actually within our CRA area, and 2 of them are not, but they're closely adjacent to the CRA area. These are areas that are within the city proper, under city ownership. So it gives you an opportunity to either through an RFP process or through a public-private partnership process to consider these particular sites. The first site that we will be talking about will be in the Sagal Park area, which is just outside. We kind of have a presentation up on the area just to, wow, nighttime. No, that's good. That's good. So we can see that a little bit better, but these are basically the same presentation boards. We have an area called Seagull Park. It's actually a park, but there's city-owned properties that are immediately adjacent to it. And there are actually 2 areas of concern that we were interested in having redeveloped. This first area is actually on the corner of 141st Street and Northwest 22nd Avenue. It is a site that is approximately 17,000 square feet. It was the former site of a community hospital some years back. I'm not quite sure the name. I've heard it was called Christian Hospital or something associated with that. And this is land that the city has had within its ownership for quite some time. The property is zoned B2, which is liberal commercial, but it also has what we call is a mixed use overlay, which would allow for residential development to occur on the site as well. The residential development can go in density up to 150 units per acre. Within those particular numbers, the maximum amount of units you could probably develop is 60, but we think that a lower density probably would be more appropriate, seeing that the city has a height limitation overall. And just looking at it in close proximity to being along a commercial corridor, probably somewhere along 5 to 6 stories might be more appropriate for this particular area. Like I said, it does present the opportunity for mixed use development, depending on the layout of the site, whether you're doing surface parking or whether you may consider doing some type of a split level garage opportunity. So that would basically potentially increase the density opportunities within the development, because at the end of the day, the amount of parking that you are able to deliver pretty much determines your density overall. On the next slide, we will talk about an area just to in between this particular site, but just to the east of Siegel Park. This is a site that is approximately 1.6 acres in size. Presently, the property is zoned for townhouse development. And it's just to the rear of the commercial corridor along 22nd Avenue and just north of 143rd Street. In terms of density, because it is presently zoned for townhome, the densities are pretty much running somewhere between 20 to 30 units within the given site itself. But there could be an opportunity to change the zoning to a higher density, therefore increasing the opportunity for development. This particular site has been under the city ownership for about 11, 12 years now. And we are really eager to see something occur with this particular site as well. If you have any questions relating to these particular sites, please feel free to interrupt at any point in time.
Mr. Gay?
Yeah.
So yes, this is an opportunity for us to hear from the community and for us to discuss your ideas. As Mr. Gay said, this property is currently zoned for townhomes, but guess what? It's owned by the city. So we could rezone it for a different use. And we have the authority and regulations to do that. So keep your open mind. And let us know what your ideas were. We're actually here to work with you to determine what is the actual best use of the land. So if you have any questions about this particular site, please feel free to let us know.
Okay, we do have a mic that can float around. So if there's anyone that has any questions for these particular properties that we presented thus far, please let us know. Just raise your hand and we'll bring the mic to you.
Yeah. And one thing I'd like to say about this particular site is that it sits right adjacent to Siegel Park, which is one of the most beautiful parks within the city of Opa-locka. So it'd be a great opportunity if we're going to put a housing complex there. We could adjoin that with the city park, perhaps do a dog park in between or do something really exciting and really nice. So very, very excited about this site. What's the acreage?
1.6.
1.6 and the population density?
Population density based on the zoning presently.
Yes.
You're looking at somewhere between 20 to 30 units.
Got it. All right.
Yes. If there aren't any other questions, we'll continue. The next two items, the next two properties are within the CRA, and I'm going to ask that Mr. Delane present those particular properties since he's a little bit more intimately involved with them. And he can probably express some of the opportunities to have incentives associated with these developments.
That means he can put a little bit more money on it.
Oh, if only the CRA pockets were that deep. Anywho, yes, so I would like to present to you all two of the properties that are a part of our presentation that are actually located within the CRA. We will start with the former Opa-locka water plant site, which is at 1025 Burlington Street. This property is currently zoned as civic, but it's also within the historic downtown Opa-locka district. So it does allow for expanded uses within a mixed use aspect. With that, it is about 73,000 square feet. We're looking at approximately 100 to 125 units on this particular lot. Because it is a city-owned lot, there are some mechanisms that we can work together on in terms of incentive packages, working on infrastructure, anything like that would be up to the discretion of the city and the city manager. Where the CRA comes in is we can provide assistance in terms of either internal infrastructure work, maintenance, anything like that, in order to actually bring the property to fruition. Next site I would like to present is the Ingram Park West site.
Before you move, please take any opportunity for questions.
Oh, excuse me. Questions, please. The address,
Burlington.
it's on 1025 Burlington Avenue.
What could you discuss what the plans for the development is for that area under our master plan?
Yes, so our main vision is looking at this to become a mixed-use development, either having live-work units or looking at something where we're looking at possibly 3 to 4 stories in this particular area. You also have to keep in mind that it is a heavily residential community. So we want to take, make sure that you look at this project holistically and make sure that whatever is to be developed is a holistic project for that particular area. Any other questions? Okay. Yes, please. Correct, unless Mr. Gay, you had something else you want to chime to that?
Yes, this particular site is approximately 1.6 acres in size. Because it is in close proximity to a single family residential area, we're not necessarily looking at the density being maxed out at 150 units. We're probably looking somewhere between 75 to 100, 115 as a density that would be most appropriate for this site. This site is adjacent to the CXX railroad track. So we do have to take that in consideration as you go look at opportunities to go more along a vertical in terms of height for the development. But because of that particular location, because it is within our downtown mixed use corridor area, increasing the density overall is something that we're looking at supporting.
Excellent. Any other questions on this? Yes, sir. So this particular site, that's a discussion that we've been having internally. If Mr. Gay or Mr. Lee would like to chime in on this.
I'll address that. Yes, for this site and the other, we have done some environmental studies, phase 1 only, and we can provide that information for any parties of interest.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Sure. Also, I think it's important to discuss the height restrictions. I believe it's 8 stories across the cities, but as we get closer to our airport, that height restriction goes down. I believe for this particular site, we could go up to 6 stories.
Correct. Due to the FAA guidelines, the heights within the downtown area are restricted to a maximum of 6 stories. An example of this is actually the urban related project, Town Center 1, which is capped at 5 stories. They were approved for 6, however, they went down to 5 to ease any concerns that the FAA may have. But that is your cap in the downtown area. Yes, sir.
Back to the environmental issues. Previously that may have led to any environmental issues?
Discuss history.
I'll forward that to Mr. Lee.
I'm sorry, the question was, has there been any previous development that would?
Yeah, the question was, is there anything on the property previous to now that may have led to some environmental issues that may have been concerning?
The water plant was a city-owned property that the city operated. There may be some infrastructure changes, but there are no environmental issues. Maybe some infrastructure that needs to be removed. On the other sites, the property off of 22nd Avenue, that city was purchased by the city, so the city had no use there before. So I don't know of any phase 1s and phase 2s will deal with that. The hospital site on 22nd, that property was a hospital. There was a phase 1 done. We can share those results. I don't know of any issues that might be there. The 4th property was the Ingram waterfront. It's a part of the park. Nothing has ever been developed there. There should be no issues. But study has to be done to ensure, but we can address those things as we go.
And if I could just piggyback off of Mr. Lee, we've had some environmental assessments done over the past 3-4 years through plenty of properties within the city of Opa-locka. The first thing we did was some of the city-owned properties, we wanted to make sure an assessment was done on those particular sites. At that particular point in time, the preliminary information came back saying that there wasn't any major contamination on the site, but you know, the devil is always in the details. And it's when you start digging a little bit further into these particular sites, that's when you begin to find out whether there may be some opportunities where you have to deal with contamination or other things related to development for these particular sites. We actually had 2 or 3 sites that we are looking at opportunities with the private property owners. And for one particular site, they had some major environmental concerns that we're trying to work through that particular process to see if what the end use will be determined to be. Right now, we're looking at residential and mixed use. It is within the CRA, but really at the end of the day, what how much of a environmental cleanup is required will determine what those particular uses will be.
And also for partnering for some of the private sites with the city of Opa-locka also gives us an opportunity to access additional dollars, access grants such as Brownsville grants that could help us with the cleanup of sites and address any contamination issues.
Thanks. Any other questions? In regards to the site? All right, thank you. So the next site we would like to discuss is the Ingram Park waterfront site. This particular parcel is actually located adjacent to our existing Ingram Park, which is the largest park that we have in our city. For this particular parcel, we're actually looking to explore options for townhome development. We're looking at approximately 58 to 60 units on this particular parcel. It's a beautiful site. It's on the waterfront and it's immediately adjacent to our community park. And one of the main things that we would like to do is create this inviting environment for our residents in a location that's pristine and also easily accessible to State Road 9, was easily accessible to both 95 and the Turnpike. Staff has discussed other options within that area that will, you know, create a more robust community for the Magnolia Gardens location. And we're looking forward to make sure that we provide whatever assistance are available for that particular development. So are there any questions on this particular parcel?
I want to make some comments about this particular parcel. Now, this is the opportunity for our Community Development Department and our CRA has done a fantastic job of identifying these sites and presenting them today. But this one is one that is really exciting to me. It is waterfront property owned by the city that is also adjacent to Ingram Park. You really have to see it to appreciate it. The views are absolutely breathtaking. It's got fantastic and phenomenal access right off of State Road 9. It's surrounded by residential, nice condominiums to the north, townhomes across the water to the east, and surrounded by single family homes along the other sides. And then again, it sits adjacent to our park with waterfront access. Currently, we're spending a lot of our police force keeping people from turning it into a mini Amelia Earhart on the weekends. So that just lets you know how special this piece of property is. So we're very excited at the opportunity of developing it. And it does sit in our CRA as well. So you'll have access to, our potential partners will have access to not only city resources, but CRA resources as well.
Are there any questions from the audience? Yes.
You don't put your best proposal forward because when you have to go out to RFP, somebody else gets a chance to see what you put out there.
Mhm.
Processes for letting these projects out for competition or interest.
Fantastic. That's absolutely a great question. Just to reiterate, so for those that might not have heard the first portion, the question was, what is our process for identifying who the potential partner or developer is going to be for a site of interest? And that's a great question, given that certain things can trigger RFP processes or notifications. Here with these particular sites, we are really looking at the uniqueness of the opportunity. And as under our administration, the uniqueness of the opportunity will allow us to move forward with a selected developer. Now, should we have several proposals that have that express that particular uniqueness that we're looking for, absolutely, we would then that would probably trigger a RFP. But at this stage, we're looking for interest and uniqueness and partners that will express their concerns to develop the site. And we're then talking about what their needs are, which also will address the uniqueness. I'm couching my words because I don't want to be too specific and box this all in. But right now, if there's an interest in the site and we can do something unique together, we're ready to move forward.
Any follow-up questions?
Oh,
Yes, sir.
also at this time, I didn't see her sneak in on me. I am very, very excited to introduce our chairwoman for our Community Redevelopment Agency, Miss Janie Russell.
Thank you so much, Mr. Manager and Mr. Executive Director. And to each and every one of you, we look forward to working with you in the great city of Opa-locka, in our CRA, as well as our city. We're looking forward to moving some great projects forward. So it's a pleasure to see so many faces in the room this morning. Thank you so much for coming.
Yeah. Mhm.
Hi.
Sir.
Can I get an idea of what kind of partnership you're looking for? Like, is for someone just to develop, and then you own and you manage, or is that how it works?
Again, it's going to be unique to the site that you select and to determine what your needs are. Let me give an example. One of the sites that we have assisted with already, the challenge with the development was our infrastructure. So the city had taken the opportunity to say, hey, we're going to partner with you. We're looking at developing a pump station at this area. So we're now going to move our time frame to provide resources to address the pump station concerns so that project can move forward. It saved the development team about 18 months in time and probably about $300,000 in dollars. So every opportunity we can do that, we will. Where we face challenges that may require direct financial resources, such as a Brownsville site, or if we have a phase one that comes back a little bit different than we expected, we're prepared to put dollars to assist there as well. So it's kind of just let's look at the site that you're interested in and what we can do with it working together. Mhm.
Excellent. So actually at this time, since we've discussed a couple of our projects, what we'd like to do is open the floor for introductions to each and every last one of you, so we can kind of meet the developers as well. So if we would like to start at this table here, if you would like to introduce yourself to the rest of the audience, that'd be great. Oh, excuse me, there's one more question.
This is a question that came from a resident,
Oh.
a potential resident, to the developers and to the city of Opa-locka. I'm looking to relocate to the city of Opa-locka. I have a voucher for Section 8. Does anyone have any affordable housing available at this moment? And how can the city help?
Oh, so currently for both of our development, large-scale developments, multifamily, the waiting list is 2 years. So we don't have any availability. We do not have any availability at this time, unfortunately. But we do have resources to assist within the city. So if this is one of our residents that's looking to remain or someone that's looking for some support, we might have some individual opportunities that we can assist you. But as far as our knowledge, there's a wait list for about 2 years for all of our Section 8 and affordable housing units.
All right, we're gonna go around the room for introductions.
Greetings, my name is Ms. Hall, everyone. I am the Executive Secretary for Planning and Community Development. I also work with the CRA as well, and also the Historic Environmental Preservation Board.
My name is Rafael, Amilcar, Mauricio. We own Amara Construction Group. We started working in Opa-locka a couple years ago. We have different projects, some commercial, some residential, and happy to work with you guys and looking forward to do more.
Good afternoon, everyone. Jared Beck, and I'm with Stantec. I'm the consultant that had the opportunity to work with the city and the CRA in creating the downtown redevelopment plan, and one that we think is a really exciting opportunity for the city, and there's a lot of potential here in Opa-locka. So I'm glad to be here today. I love that the city is putting this effort on every year. I think it really shows the commitment you're making to making Opa-locka great. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Shameka Lawson, the Assistant City Manager for the City of Opa-locka.
Good afternoon. My name is Darius Lee. I'm with Radius Consulting, and I represent developers with outside the region looking for investment opportunities within cities, within the community.
Hello, my name is Van Wade. I'm just a local real estate investor.
Thomas Mingo. I'm a real estate agent as well as an investor and a general contractor as well.
Good afternoon. I'm Carlos. I'm with the First Cigar Lounge in the history of Opa-locka. I'm also an investor in a few chain of smoke shops in the city from Wynwood all the way to the Miramar area. And I'm interested in the new mixed use properties that are coming to the city of Opa-locka.
My name is Marcus Felix. I'm with Aubrey Construction, investor also. We are interested in acquiring land to do redevelopment also. So that's why we're here.
I am Clemens Fiagome. We have done work for the city of Opa-locka over the past 15 years. And we are honored to have the opportunity to participate in these projects that you have coming forward.
Good afternoon. My name is Emrose Belisha. I'm an analyst at a private equity firm. We're looking for sites to develop high density multifamily here in Opa-locka.
Hi, my name is Caroline Parker Santiago. I am a consultant with Ecos. Hello. Okay. And RFP proposals and other services for it's as well as for profits. So currently I'm working with a private developer, Winston Capital Partner, who is interested in these projects. And thank you all for putting this wonderful event together.
Hi, my name is Frank Cassis, and I'm a Senior Vice President at Benesco USA. And Mr. Williams asked us to come over here. We're looking to do a lot of financing in the city and hopefully helping Opa-locka get to where it looks like it's going, which is a very good thing. So we're happy to be here.
Hello, good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm with the Office of Housing Advocacy. I'm the tenant rights advocate. I have my colleague here, Sabrina Velarde. She's the housing development advocate. We are representing our agency. Miss Dolores Hawley, our director, she was not able to make it, but she asked us to come and represent and to glean information from you all here. Our agency mission is to have residents of Miami-Dade County know their rights when it comes to landlord-tenant issues. And so we're happy to be here.
Lita Rodriguez Tassif. I am the representing Opa-locka Community Development Corporation. Willie Logan, our president and CEO, is our organization.
Good afternoon. Mila Sabla, and I'm a part of the Plus Serbia design firm, representation of the firm here today. We're working with the Opa-locka Community Development Center in the master plan redevelopment for downtown Opa-locka. We are urban planners and designers here in Miami and abroad.
Hello, good afternoon. My name is Jensen Mondesir. I'm a real estate broker, roofing contractor, and general contractor.
Afternoon, I'm Albert Nelson, President of Pope Oaks Investment Development, private property owner here in Opa-locka.
Afternoon. I'm Reed.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, all. My name is Aaron McKinney. I'm here on behalf of Integral Development, a commercial real estate and affordable housing development firm based in Atlanta with recent operations here in the Florida market. And as a matter of fact, we are working on a senior affordable housing complex here in the city of Opa-locka.
Is it still morning? Good afternoon. Kareem Brantley with redevelopment plans in the city of
Robert Holland and his yard center, local attorney who deals with a lot of development law on behalf of myself as well as clients who do affordable housing and industrial and retail, you name it. So happy about the opportunities, and I think we may have something there.
all right.
Hi, my name is Harvey Mayorga, and he's Juan Carlos Chavez. We are developing a property right now in downtown Opa-locka, the commercial for a mixed use. We're trying to get authorization for the maximum density. We're gonna present the plans next week, hopefully, to the CRA. We ready to move on. We would like some finance. We have part of it. And we have all the plans. We own the plaza. It's called Opa-locka City Center, like Brickell City Center. We own the supermarket, and we're ready to move on with your support. Workforce focus housing, affordable housing. Thank you.
Okay, now that Now that everyone has been introduced, we would like to offer you all lunch, which is in the back. Go ahead and treat yourselves, as well as making sure that everyone fills out their sheet. We'll be taking a brief intermission. You can discuss amongst yourselves, speak with us, review the boards, and then in about 10 to 15 minutes, we'll be back seated up here as the panel, and we'll be taking more of your questions.
And as we take this brief break, as Mr. Delane said, please come up and look at the boards. For many of you here, we are maybe already aware of the sites that you're interested in, but there may be some additional sites that you're interested in. So please take this time to check it out so that you can prepare some more questions for us and so that we can have a very engaged conversation about potentially moving forward after our break. Thank you all for coming. Sir.
So for those of you who walked in late, the purpose of this forum is to answer the call of our housing crisis here, not only in the great city of Opa-locka, but as a county abroad. Again, I'm Vice Mayor John H. Taylor here in the great city of Opa-locka. We have our city manager, Mr. Darvin Williams, our CRA director, Mr. Corian Delaney, our CRA chairwoman, Ms. Jamie Russell, and we have our community development director who's walking around, and our assistant community director, Mr. Lee. And we're going to continue with the conversation. We have all of our developers that introduce themselves, but joining us online, we have Mr. Lewis Sparks from Lewis Sparks Construction, and we just want to welcome him to the conversation. So we're going to turn it back over into the hands of our our CRA director, Mr. Corian Delaney. And again, as our manager stated, we don't want this to be a one-sided conversation because we're opening up for a dialogue so we can hear your thoughts and you can hear, we want to hear your heart and we want you to hear the heart of our city. So we want you to ask questions, engage, and so that we understand so you understand what we're looking for and we want to understand what you have to offer. So we have, again, Mr. Corian Delaney who will join us at the mic.
So at this time, we actually like to open the floor to have a, an active discussion with each and every one of you here in the room. And what would you like to see in terms of assistance from the city to develop in our city? So we're opening the floor to everyone and, feel free to ask whatever's on your heart.
And as, go ahead, Madam Chair.
I would like to know from the developers that are here, what does a partnership look like to you with the city of Opa-locka? What does that look like for you as a developer?
What's the type of support that you all are looking for, the type of support that you may need? What is the type of assistance that you would like to provide from the city? And I'll as the city manager, let me expound on why this question is so important coming from you all. We're ready to move. So that means if you come to the city with a unique proposal, that we are positioned to execute immediately once we agree on how we're going to proceed. If we provide to you the assistance that the city is going to provide, we are now looking at a bidding process. So we'll start and say, for this particular site, this is the type of partnership we're going to offer. We will open it up to the public, receive bids, establish a panel, and then select the best bid and move forward in that manner. This is a unique opportunity for the development community to come to the city of Opa-locka and say, hey, I have a unique idea of how we can develop this site. So absolutely, please take advantage of this time. Take advantage of this opportunity. We'll get you the mic. Take advantage of this opportunity to say, these are the kind of things that we would like, and these are the kind of support that we will receive. We may end up putting some things out to bid. We will, because we intend to develop all of these locations. But if we can partner with the developer in our community now, looking at these sites to do something unique that's ready to go, we're prepared to make that move.
Yes, hi. My name is Daniel Jaramillo. I'm with Strategic Properties. We've been investing in Opa-locka for the past 20 years. The highest number of units we had here was around 400 units. We're we no longer have multifamily here, but and we were one of the developers that built the one on the 80 townhouses on 136th Street. So to your question, first thing is that I see to make a partnership work is land, suitable land. And one way of doing it is, yeah, just buying it from a private owner. But if the city has land, then that's a good start. And second is this, I mean, I don't think we need to recreate the wheel here. The CRA credits in other cities like North Miami, I was just discussing their initiatives there, where we already have land. They're providing types of credits in property taxes and in credits on construction, subject to making a couple of or a percentage of the units affordable. So set up the limitations. I mean, anything, it's just as long as the numbers work. Right now, it's there are certain things that we cannot change, and it's how much the banks are going to charge for the construction loan. What is the current cost of building? You know, it moves up and down, but certainly those are numbers that we can give you, show you. We're completely transparent and make sure that whatever initiatives the city can bring are enough to make the project viable and subject, of course, to affordable restrictions so that there's units that can be used by the community as well at affordable rates.
Great response. Did everyone hear his comments? All of the things that you mentioned, sir, we are prepared to do, and we're actually looking to do. However, keep in mind that all of the locations are not in the CRA, which is why we have to be unique in our approach and our support. So we do have access and resources from both the city side and resources from also our CRA. So that was a great response. Absolutely. If you're ready to move forward, we're ready to move forward. Let us know how we can support a unique opportunity for development of one of these sites. Yeah. Okay.
I'll just briefly echo the previous comments regarding partnership. I mean, land, obviously developing in South Florida is extremely expensive. We are a destination location, so therefore, and our proximity to the source makes land extremely expensive to acquire. So that is a huge burden. And I think there is definitely more need for, you know, subsidizing a lot of development, especially when we talk about affordable housing. And I would even take it a step further when we talk about the idea of creating more mixed income housing, especially for treating that workforce housing demographic, that missing middle, where there is a plethora of subsidy that is available to kind of treat the bottom tier when it comes to affordable housing. Obviously, the market is the market, but it's that missing middle where folks that are making too much to qualify for a subsidy, but however, not making enough to qualify in the marketplace. So one thing I encourage all municipalities to get creative about is, you know, finding more subsidy programs that can help subsidize that type of development, because I think the mixed income piece is crucial to our community development going forward to avoid the oversaturation of affordable and extremely low income development in low income communities, which is essentially perpetuating the same issue and not helping solve the social problems that exist within these spaces. So that's one. I would just quickly add on from a policy standpoint. I think, you know, time is money. So having an expedited process in place for permit review and issuance is always great. And then a very costly piece of development is impact fees. And so creating a mechanism where affordable senior housing, workforce housing can somehow have those fees waived or possibly deferred for the length of whatever deed restrict, or the length of the deed restriction or any kind of contract period that a complex or an apartment complex or a project would provide below market units, that there should be some kind of, again, complete waiver or deferment possibility in place so that developers aren't necessarily burdened with having to pay off those hundreds of thousands of dollars, I'm sorry, of potential impact fees, which of course just run up a project's budget.
Great comments, Mr. McKinney. So allow me, and you came prepared clearly, but so did I. So allow me to address your first point about the concerns about that unique window where you're kind of making too much to get certain subsidies, but not making enough to be so profitable that you're just out there balling in the marketplace with the best rates for banks like Banesco. So that is a discussion that we're actually having. And we are looking to address that as well, particularly being having the residential base that we have here in Opa-locka. We're not looking for gentrification. We're actually looking to support the community that's in place. We have some displacement issues. And so we've been creative about ideas of how we could support developers here. So we do know that land acquisition is a big piece of that. The properties presented here today are all city-owned land. We're willing to work with a developer that comes up with a unique concept in many different ways, even if that meant, a long-term lease, a 99-year lease at a very affordable rate, with the opportunity to purchase at the end. So we've got all kind of ideas that we're swelling with, and we want to hear your ideas. But to address your concern, your first concern, absolutely, that is a way that we would be willing to partner with our development community. Now, to address your second concern, which is, and I'll just put it a little bit more succinctly, our antiquated process here in the city of Opa-locka. So as city manager, that's been a big concern of mine as well. And I'm very, very excited to say, as I've shared with a couple of you in our little meet and greet session just now during our break, that we are digitizing our building and license department, which is the main interface to the development community. So that's just part of it, though, particularly for a project that we're going to partner in. Absolutely. I am here to promote and push forward development at the will of our commission. So to the extent of that, wherever we can provide some wiggle room, I'm going to afford every project that opportunity. And to that extent, we're actually looking to formalize that process. Right now, our charter authorizes me to minimize or waive certain impact fees under certain circumstances if I receive a recommendation from our community development director. Even that, which can be a very speedy process, but even that we want to, we're having a discussion about making that a formal process to where certain projects we already have we will codify that this will be, say for workforce housing, affordable housing, senior housing units, they will get a waiver or a reduction in impact fees. So we are having those discussions. To address your second point, we are ready to move forward on those options, and those are ways that we can and will and are willing to support the development community should you bring one of these projects forward. Great question. Thank you. Questions?
Can I make a comment as well?
Absolutely.
Also for me as a community person and have lived in the city of Opa-locka for over 30 years, I think the manager spoke about keeping our community intact as much as possible. I'll give you a little, I had a parent come to me the other day. Children is my line of work. And she was very concerned because she's being moved out of her place. And she wanted to find another place that was affordable within Opa-locka because she loves Opa-locka, and she could not find. So when developers come to us and talk to me in particular about what they want in the community, I don't just have my CRA hat on, I also have my community activist hat on, because I know that we have people in this community that really love Opa-locka, but they're on, their income is not maybe as high as they would like for it to be. So in developing, we must also keep those people in mind so that we can keep the heritage of Opa-locka intact as well. And also when you're developing, I spoke with one developer that, and if you're gonna put where you have family homes, let's not forget about something for children. Doesn't always have to be a little tot lot. You could have a computer lab. You know, there are other things that you could have. You could have other things that will also keep the children engaged so that they don't have to play up and down in the hallways or you know, leave their community to go out to other places. So when we're developing housing, let's keep those things in mind because they're definitely in my mind.
Mr. Manager, we have one question from our online viewer. He's asking, are phase one audits available for each site?
So that was a question that was asked earlier. There are some sites that we do have phase ones available. And if that's a site, and if you select a site of interest that we have that, we will provide that for you. I'm assuming you mean, he means phase one environmental studies. Okay, so great question. But yes, for a couple of the sites that have had previous activity on them, we do have phase one studies. But I think there's one or two sites that's never had any development on them. And we do not have a phase one for those.
Also, I think the manager as well brought this to the attention. Through the CRA, we are working on incentives to get developers to develop in the CRA area. And one of the most challenged areas is what used to be known as the Triangle, but is known as Magnolia North. If you go over in that area and see a development that has been developed, it is absolutely gorgeous. And that's what we're looking for in our community, something that our residents and can be proud of, and something that people want to go and say that it's a home. So we're not looking at to just throw up your, I don't want to, just throw up anything and say that it's because it's Opa-locka, that's what we're going to do. We're looking for quality work as well as workmanship in the homes or homes that you're building.
I was wondering, can you tell me where that address was or the name of that property that you just mentioned in Magnolia North? There's an existing property, as you're saying?
Yes, it's was developed by Palmetto Homes. You know the exact address, Mr. Gay?
The address is 14911 Duval Street.
And I just have to circle back on what Mrs. Russell, our chairwoman, said. It is, that development is absolutely stunning, absolutely beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. And that is exactly the type of development that we're looking to support moving forward here in our city. So if you do have opportunity to pass by it and look in and look at it, I think that will kind of give you a flavor of what we're looking to do here. It's a townhome development. Obviously, we're looking also to do multifamily units, but the quality of work is what we want you to see.
And Mr. Manager, if I could just piggyback off of you. I've had numerous conversations with developers and one of the things that they always inquire about is, well, what do you want to see in Opa-locka? And just like all the other municipalities, we're all competing for people to reside in our community. One thing that I had just stressed to my staff from day one, I was like, we need to change the image of our community from being a place that people drive through to becoming a destination. Every place wants to be a destination and they have a reason for being that particular destination. We want to be considered an opportunity for people to reside here and possibly reside close to where they may be working. If they're working in Miami Lakes, or if they're working in the industrial areas, or if they're working in Hialeah. Consider this as an opportunity for residents to live. So when the developers ask me, what type of product are you looking for? I said, we're looking for the exact same product we see in other communities, but we just want to make someone's commute a whole lot shorter. And instead of commuting in a car, maybe you'll commute on a bicycle or a scooter. So we're looking for the same products, the town homes, the twin homes, single family, multifamily with amenities, not just multifamily and that's it. So keep those things in mind. Now, I know when we took our break, there were some people who asked particular questions of me relating to what type of RFP are we going to be putting out, or what type of public-private partnership we will be putting out. So I know those questions have been raised. Maybe we address them in some way, shape, or form, but we want to be able to be a developer-friendly community, to be able to take you through the review process. And I can tell you that our review process is a little bit unique to other municipalities, but yet and still, it's a necessary process so that everybody feels comfortable with what's being proposed to be developed within the city of Opa-locka. And I know one person did raise an issue or they raised a question relating to whether there would be any incentives for doing a project with the Moorish architecture design. So that's something that we have been having discussions about, determining what that incentive would look like, and whether it would be a benefit to the developer as well as a benefit to the city overall. We're still toying with that information, but we're looking to do something similar to that.
Absolutely. To continue addressing that concern, we will be providing incentives to push forward on our Moorish design. As Mr. Gay said, we want to become a destination. And in order to become a destination, we have to focus on the things that make us unique. And our Moorish design is one of the things that makes Opa-locka unique. So obviously that's something that we're going to support financially and continue. Now, let me make another sell and pitch to you guys as the development community here. I should say guys and gals. Opa-locka is absolutely under this administration on the move. So this is a great time for anyone of interest to get in on the ground floor. We're in the process of, as we speak, rehabilitating the historic city hall that sits directly behind this building. That is going to be a staple in the community. It's going to be a phenomenal draw. I hope to have that project completed by April of next year. We're looking at developing our own water park here in the city of Opa-locka that will be along the lines of what we see in the Hialeah area with Amelia Earhart. So there are several projects that we are pushing forward on the city side to develop to make Opa-locka the place to be. And if you get under the ground floor now, the sky is the limit and there's nothing but opportunity before you. So please, if there's any interest here, introduce yourself to me. Let me get your contact information to our CRA manager, Mr. Delane, to our Director of Community Development, or Mr. Gay, or any member of our team. We're ready to work with you. We want to hear what your thoughts are and see if there's opportunity to move forward.
And I'm really interested in who's going to be taking care of that water park. Listen, hey, water park. You're gonna have lots of support. Believe me, we're tired of going to West Palm Beach to that water place. We spend all that money water rapids every year. Every summer we gotta take the kids up there to water rapids to enjoy. So I'm interested. My ears are like my little puppy standing right up to hear someone talk about bringing that water park to Opa-locka, because you're gonna have everybody here sliding right into you. We're excited about that. So we hope someone will grab that horn and take interest and to our manager, and also he's our executive director for the CRA. We appreciate the leadership that he has taken forth to make sure that on the CRA side, that we're moving forward in a very positive way, because there are lots of opportunities coming up. CRA, we have Mr. Lane, we got a nice little budget that we could do some things with, and we don't want to just sit. We want to see projects move. So let's go, let's go, let's go.
By the way, it's public record, so I'll just state that nice little budget that she's talking about is about $4 million. So don't let him play with you that he ain't got it. I understand, yeah. So yes, we do have, we've been working very diligently in this team and this staff, both on the CRA side, under the leadership of Mrs. Russell, and the city side. We've done a lot of work to get to this point.
Yes.
So again, please take advantage of this opportunity. We are ready to move. And we shall move. If I have to build it myself, it'll get built. I would prefer not to do that. But I just want to express to you all, one, how grateful we are that you have come out, and how serious we are about this initiative. Okay.
And Mr. Manager, if I could just add one thing. You saw 4 sites today. Those are not the only sites. We have some other sites that we're working through a process to put them in a position where they could be considered for development. So this is just the beginning.
Yes.
And as you said, we're doing this through a three-phase process. We're looking at multifamily. We're looking at individual single-family home ownership development coming further down the line,
Property owner.
and working with property owners. And we have one piece that we're still working on to deal with the restoration of historic preservation and historic properties. I want to put that information out there because there's a significant amount of historic properties within the city. It's unfortunate that a lot of them are not within our CRA, but we're going to create some other type of incentives and funding mechanisms to help those particular property owners, especially if they are homesteaded, to be able to improve those particular properties as well.
Does anyone have anything else before we adjourn?
And just to let you know, the information that we're providing here, this is being recorded. So you will be able to play it back again, but the information that we presented to you, we will also be putting that on our website.
And I just want to remind everyone, if you could fill out the sign-in sheets in the middle of your tables so we can get that information to you in a timely fashion, that would be excellent.
And invite you to as we've developed and prepare more properties, we want to continue to invite you to come to the next workshop to see if there's any properties there that you're interested in. So make sure that we get your contact information.
So again, we thank you for joining us in this great conversation at our Affordable Housing Initiative. As he said, this is the first of many. And like we told you earlier, Opa-locka is open for business, and we're moving forward into a better and right direction. So again, thank you all for coming out, and we hope that you got all your answers to your questions, and we're ready for conversations. So get our cards from the cards from our panelists, our manager, CRA director, our CRA chairwoman, and Mr. Gay. And we'll be happy to have those conversations with you. Again, thank you and have a great day.